Hello everyone, Pat speaking from Thailand. I would like to say hello with Thai culture greeting. It's called Wai, W-A-I, Wai, like this. It is a polite way to show respect to the others. It is our century Thai culture. I try to connect with my friends here since yesterday. I try to share ideas with teacher Tim and with Risa, but I can't because of Risa, because of Facebook algorithm. I really don't know. Maybe we are blocked by Mark Zuckerberg. Hello, Nerusa. I really miss all of you, Supermom from Poland. Yes. I can't as well because usually on the screen, on the bottom, there is a small screen icon to request. But a while ago, I asked teacher, what is his name? Because I asked him to invite me. He did send invitation, but nothing happened. I have free times today because I taking care of my Frank because my wife, she left for Vietnam to Ho Chi Minh City this morning on business, and she's supposed to be back on Tuesday. Hi, brother Fabio. Unfortunately, we cannot talk on global stage because of some problems. Nerusa told me that it's happened a couple of days in so far. We cannot connect to global stage as usual. I would like to greet you and to tell about my country, Thailand. Thailand is so-called land of smile because Thailand, they treat the foreigner with our hospitality, and sometimes it's joking, you know. I try to tell you about the funny things, why land of smile was originated. Actually, it's funny thing. It's about the language as well, because it said that Thai people, most of Thai people are not able to speak English, so whenever they met the foreigner, they said nothing but kept smiling. That is why Thailand is so called land of smile. It's joking, actually. Okay, I think today, Supermom from Poland, she keep busy and she enjoy the traveling and connect with the people in this globe for our Shivadi business, because we need to go and contact, have the face-to-face business talk. And now we are expanding our Shivadi in Vietnam, and we start at the capital, Ho Chi Minh City, or on the other words is called Hanoi. No, it's not Hanoi. It's Saigon. Saigon is another name of Ho Chi Minh City. Actually, Vietnam and Thai, because of the time zone, Vietnam should be 1 hour earlier than ours because it is on east side. Vietnam is locating on east side, so it's supposed to be 1 hour earlier. But I don't know what is the reason why Vietnam and Thailand we have the same time. Yeah, zero different between Vietnam and Thailand. What do you mean, second wife? Yeah, it's risky. It's risky to talk about that issues publicly. My sister. No. Frank, he is enjoy playing game in his room, and now I stay in my condominium, not far away from my home, and Frank enjoy playing games with his friend as usual. Yeah. Today I would tell about the English lesson regarding to my experience. It is my direct experience, and I think I would like to share. risky, yeah, it's quite risky. Yeah, it's not the it's a good challenge to mention about about her on Facebook Live. Yes, I would like to share if we speak English. I saw many members they speak in their own style. I'm talking about the speed of speaking out in English. Some people feel that if they can speak quickly, that's reflect about fluently. But my idea is totally different because whenever you talk, even in your mother tongue or the other second language, fluently, in my understanding, is to make clear whenever you talk with people. It's a nature law. You cannot speak any languages unstoppably. Why? The reason is even in your mother tongue, when a human being express their idea, you're supposed to stop for a while. It depends on the things you are sharing with people. You cannot think smoothly sometimes because of you cannot figure out something that happened in your conversation. It might be something arising that you cannot figure out, and you have to stop for a while. That's nature. And as I know, technically it's called you are conceptualize your idea, and what you are expressing is automatically divided into a small module. Yes, thought small module. It is why it's conceptualize your idea, and the module is so-called unit of thought. And if you notice that when you read a book, you can see something called punctuation mark, like a colon, semicolon, comma. It's a break and divided the sentence phrases in message in a paragraph. And if you practice reading and you notice the punctuation mark, it will help you when you speak or narrate something you read, because the punctuation mark are divided at the certain part of the sentence, and when you stop the main idea with a long sentence, you stop with the period or full stop. That means you stop the longer. So if you practice reading in a proper way, it's correlated to your speaking skill as well. I'm not sure in theory it is correct, but I telling you that's from my feeling. So if you like to speak and tell the story in very good rhythm, you're supposed to notice this punctuation mark and practice reading. And my idea, if you like to practice reading, you're supposed to speak it out loud, because you have the chance to move your muscles, face muscles. It's about, I don't know, it's about the 40 muscle in your face. You have to move your tongue, exercise your breath, and when you speak out any language. That is what I think. So if you like to improve quickly your speaking, you're supposed to improve reading and notice, take a glance while you're reading the punctuation mark and speak out loud. Practice, exercise your face muscle. Yeah, that is very simple. Another thing I would share, the message sent from a British teacher. He's Mr. Drew Badger. He's online teacher actually. He from time to time he sent to my email every single day, and he shared the main idea about the English learning and teaching. It's very, very beautiful. So I would like to share tonight in Thailand and afternoon in European country. Drew Badger, he is English teacher. He got married with a Japanese lady. He has a very cute daughter. His daughter is bilingualism, and I saw some of his YouTube showing how he taught his daughters to speak two languages, Japanese and English. I will show you some days that video clip. But the things I would like to share today is about how to stop translating before you speak. It is interesting. He shared his idea about this situation when you speak. I think it's happened to every people. Even though you speak in your mother tongue, but how to speak naturally, because you cannot translate one language to the other language, because whenever you speak and interact with someone by speaking, it should be on the responsive manner. So you have no time actually to translate one language to another language. Some reason is that the grammars of different language and rules are different. The simple example is that in Thailand, I'm talking about the word order. Suppose you have to explain something with the adjective. In English, the adjective have to put in sequence sequential manners in front of noun. And in our country, it's go there, it's a reverse. Because if you like to explain, for example, white horse, yeah, white adjective here is explained horse. But in Thai, when you speak in Thai, you have to speak different. You have to speak in Thai horse first and followed by white. Yeah, this is one simple example that why you cannot sing in one language, translate and speak out in another language because of the structure. How to compose sentence is completely different. And okay, now I would like to share what Drew Badger mentioned about this. I think it's very interesting for me. I would like to share. He said that he himself, the biggest, one moment, it's happened. Okay, he said that one of the biggest problems he had when he first started learning Japanese, his wife mother tongue, it was that he always translated sentences in his head before speaking. So that is a fact. As a Thai people, when you're gonna speak out in English, you face the same facts like Drew Badger share. And he asked a question, if do you ever prepare sentences in your head during conversations? Again, do you ever prepare sentences in your head during conversations? Surely no. And Drew shared that he was frustrated because he had complex things he wanted to say, but he had only a basic vocabulary. That's also fact, because you didn't know many vocabularies. Your vocabulary is insufficient to express the things. And in the beginning, every single one, every individual feel like that. So what Drew Badger share with us is exactly the same. And that's make me confident that if you like to speak another language, you cannot think in your mother tongue, in your own language, and speak it out in another language. Yeah. And okay. And see. He said that it's like it is very comparative example. He said it's one like having the mind of an adult, but you being trapped in the body of a baby. Yeah. And he said that he hadn't yet learned to use basic grammars without thinking, but he was still trying to use more advanced phrases. And regarding to his experience as online teachers, he said that many of his students have the same problems because students, they passionately they wanted with passion, with high passion to sound, to speak like a native right now. That is against the nature law, because any skill, not only English speaking, and any skill, music, sport, is time-taking process. You cannot be competent. You cannot perform the best within a short period of time. Learning any languages is the same problems, the same fact actually. But he shared a secret. That is very interesting. He said the secret to progress is to take one step back so you can take 2 steps forward. And he said that if once you master basic grammar, and this means you can use it in a sentence without thinking, then you can move on to adding more colorful language. That is start from the simple words to explain your ideas. And let's speak straightforward with the simple words in the beginnings, and along your journey you learn more and more. You collect more the colorful thing. He compared with cooking. Sometimes when you create the simple dish for your first times, and later on after first or second dish you might create something. You think about the ingredients, how to make your dish, your recipe more yummy. But you will start with the simple or basic one. Learning English is the same thing. Learning language, not only English, the same thing. And what is he suggests next is okay. For instance, and examples, he said that sometimes you feel not comfortable in summer. It is a hot day, and you want to say that this heat is uncomfortable. Yeah. And first practice saying the basic English until you can use it automatically. And from the first lesson, and you come to the more advanced in express the same thing. He said that you can get fancy. To get fancy is expression. Get fancy. What does it mean? Get fancy. Get fancy is to do something in a more complex and interesting way. Is get fancy. So when you use the simple words, and later on you can adding more conversational vocabulary, such as the very simple one I just mentioned is this heat is uncomfortable. And later on, you will play around and compose a more colorful sentence like this heat is bothering me, is frustrating me. When you know more about this, another 2 words, bother, frustrate, and you can play around with your words to make your expressions more lively, something like that. And you might say, the heat is killing me, with the same meaning, but a different degree of emotion, because it's very hot, and this heat is killing me. So the trick is not to translate that the complex things you want to say in your mind. So the principle is just practice using basic things in English until they become automatic, and then you start to add a bit of spice. Yeah, you can connect with the cooking. You're talking about the spice to make your sentence more colorful. Another example, if you are asked from someone and you would like to tell him that you're gonna reply, you might say with the simple words, okay, I will reply you soon. I will reply you soon. And if you go to the advanced step, you might use an expression. It is very common expression actually, but if you never use it, you didn't know, and it was hard for you. Instead of the saying I will reply soon, you might say I will get back to you soon. Reply and use get back to you for instead. What else? Could you help me? Could you help me? You might say, could you give me a hand? Could you give me a helping hand? It's more colorful, you see. Or I was tired all day at work. You might say I was running on empty instead of really tired. I was running on empty. It's comparing with like a car with no gas. I was running on empty all day at work. I have no energy left. I'm exhausted. Yeah, every word can be used interchangeably. So to conclude about the I mentioned, it's just practice saying the basic sentences first, and then once you have gotten automatic, add some flavor. A while ago it said add some spice, add some flavor, connecting with cooking. That is what he shared with his fan club. And there are so many interesting things, and I would like to share next time. Yeah, Samantha. I think that is a fact, you know. Even when you are asked how fluent you can speak English, that depends on the context. I would like to share my experience. I think I can speak English at some certain level actually, but it depends on the area, the message I would like to convey, my thoughts. If I to talk about the education, if I would like to talk about politics, if I would like to talk about the other areas I'm not get used to, I didn't have sufficient vocabulary to express the idea. And when I was supposed to talk in my professional engineering, I can talk in various perspectives. Because of that, I have the thousands of vocabularies, and I use it for long times, even in my mother tongue. And some days, if I am going to speak something about pharmaceutical, for example, I didn't have any idea how to speak and select the words to express the idea, because it is a technical thing sometimes. But I mentioned in my early video clip, that is another thing, interesting thing in communicative English, is that most of people have their own way of speaking, and most of them good at telling story of his area of education, and you cannot avoid to speak the technical thing to non-technical people. The easiest examples I would like to share, because I think everyone experience talking with doctor in hospital, and whenever you keep listening to doctor, when doctors talk each other with technical terms, you cannot understand at all, because it is too technical for general people. But when the time you have to talk with the doctor, and doctor is supposed to explain how to behave properly after leaving hospital, they should use the simple words. You have to the doctor simply explain how to manage with how to treat, how to take care yourself. They're supposed to use simple words and simply explain to the patient. It's said that technical people, they know deeply in his discipline, in his knowledge, but when they're supposed to talk with the others, people from different area, they're supposed to simplify and select another set of the vocabulary to connect with the people who are non-technical. And my direct experience as engineer, the things embedded in my brain for a long time is about the formula, about the calculation, about hundreds of the figures, design, everything. But when I supposed to talk with my customers about the construction, for example, a home, and become some problem, there are some problems cracking in some main structures, and how I can explain to my customer. I supposed to explain using another set of vocabulary as well. Otherwise, I cannot communicate and connect with my customers. That's the fact. So I think the thing when our members talk each other in this room might be about education. You might experience as a student, you might experience as an educator, as a teacher, but every people have the same common experience. So it's not so difficult when we share about the education, because individual has their own experience, direct experience in the past. So to explain the non-technical people with some technique, you're supposed to use appropriate words. Avoid using the words used among the technical people. And what is appropriate words? Appropriate words should be accurate, precise, comprehensibility, and you have to avoid using uncommon expression, uncommon words, idioms. In particular, if you are a native speaker, okay, let's say about English. If native speakers use too much uncommon expression, uncommon words to international audiences, it's always cause big problem. Because what is the fact? The fact of international audiences, academicians, they learn English from reading instead of listening. They got used to the technical terms, the formal, the words they read from the book. That's surely different from another group of words used in basic conversation, daily conversation. So if you are invited to be a resource speaker, keynote speaker to a target group who are international audiences, avoid to use uncommon words, uncommon expression. Like in my countries, when I talk to foreigners, I use very simple words, and sometimes I need to use my body language. I have to show some examples to give them more clear pictures, and sometimes I draw the picture for instead of the speaking, because this is the easiest way, because pictures can tell the hundreds of words. It's something like that. Okay, I think it's time, and I hope that Facebook Live will be okay very soon, so we can share and talk with my guests. I can share my ideas, and we can talk interactively. And see you next time. Enjoy holiday to everyone. Goodbye. สวัสดีครับ